Hi there. Okay, so we are going to be doing this modified acids and bases lab at home. You're going to do part A with me, and then we're going to do the rest of the part B you're going to do on your own at home. So, can you turn to page 14 in your booklet? It's at the very end of your Chemistry 4 booklet. And you're going to need that envelope that said stuff for acids and bases lab, okay? And you can take all of the things out. I gave you a couple pipettes. I gave you some orange pH paper, some blue litmus paper, and some red litmus paper, okay? So here we go. The purpose is to classify substances as acids or bases using their characteristic properties. And we want to determine the pH values of acids and the bases used, okay? If you have safety goggles, great, okay? The stuff that we're working with at home, we should be okay. The red and blue litmus paper I gave you, indicators. If you wanted to make purple cabbage juice, you totally could. So if you had a thing of red cabbage, you just need one leaf, not even, and you could put it into a pot with 1 cup of boiling water, or 1 cup of water, and boil it. Cut it up, add the cabbage, boil it until the water turns kind of a bluey color. Or you could put it into a small, like a food processor with a little bit of water, and that liquid that comes from it is an actual indicator. It's awesome. I know not a lot of people have purple cabbage at home, so that's just if you wanted to try it, okay? The pH test paper, which I gave you, and pipettes, and a coffee cup saucer or something that is clean where a small amount of liquid could sit. So at school, we use these, right? They have these little wells, okay? You just need something that is very clean, or you can clean easily to put your liquids in to do your tests, okay? It doesn't matter what you use, just make sure it's clean. Some examples of household liquids you can use like Windex or lemon juice or coffee. Lemon juice there twice. Bottled water, pop, milk, laundry detergent, vinegar, shampoo, whatever sort of liquids you have, you can give them a test, okay? Now, one safety note here, that many household cleaners are corrosive or caustic, okay? So any spills on the skin or in the eyes or on your clothing should be washed immediately with cold water. And if you have anything that happens, can you please let me know? I'm not advocating that you use anything that would be hazardous, okay? We're just wanting to look at some general liquids around our house. Okay, here we go. Turn the page. Part A, okay? So we're gonna take a look at the effects of acids and bases on different indicators. So what I've done is I've taken a spot plate and I have filled the first well with hydrochloric acid. I filled the second well with acetic acid. The third well I filled with distilled water, okay, which you might not have at home, so I thought I would just show you what that looks like. And then the last one, or the second last one, I have calcium hydroxide. And then the very last one, I have sodium hydroxide, okay? So let's take a look and see what it says. So step 1 says place about 10 drops of each of the following into the wells of a spot place like the diagram. So I had a variety of bottles like this, and if we were in class, we would have been doing this ourselves. And then I just drop them in, okay? That way I don't have any spills. And it says using a different piece of clean, dry litmus paper, dip the end of the piece of red litmus paper into each solution and lay your dipped paper onto a paper towel. Okay, don't put them onto your table or put them on a piece of paper, and then we're going to record our results in the table. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is rip all your litmus paper in half. We don't need, they don't need to be that long. And plus, I gave you enough because I want you to do 10 substances, and I think I only gave you 5 papers of each. So rip your pH paper and your litmus papers in half. Okay, there you go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my red litmus paper and I'm going to dip it in the first one. Okay, so my HCl, and I'm going to put it on my paper here. Okay, now I'm going to, what does it say? Red litmus paper for all of them. Okay, so next one, dip it. Whoa, oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Okay, it went into two at the same time, so let's try that again. So dip into one, nothing happened. Okay. Dip into the middle. Okay. Dip into this one. Okay. Oh, I got a bit of a change there. Okay. And then the last one. Okay, I've got a bit of a change there too. Okay. So there is what's happened with our 3 red litmus papers. Okay, so I've got still red, still red, still red, and turn blue, turn blue. Okay, now it says repeat step 2 using the blue litmus paper and then the pH paper. Okay, so let's do this again. So I'm going to dip it into the first one, so the blue turned red. Next one, dip it in. Okay, my blue turned red. Third one into the middle. Okay, my blue stayed blue. Into the fourth one. Okay, my blue stayed blue. And the last one, my blue stayed blue. Okay, so if I go back to my results, okay, so now I have my blue turned red, blue turned red, blue stayed blue, blue stayed blue, blue stayed blue. Okay, last one is our pH paper. Okay, so I'm going to dip it into the first one. Oh, got like a very hot pink. Okay, put that down. And I'm actually going to look that up right away. So on the pH paper scale here, that looks to be about a 1. Okay, so I'm just going to write that underneath on my piece of paper just so I can remember. Okay, next one I'm going to do, dip into my second one. Okay, put that down. And right away I'm going to check that out. And that looks to be about 3. Okay. Okay. Now go to the middle. Okay, we've got a little bit of a, it's not quite orangey anymore. It's got a little bit of a green tinge to it. So about, say, a 7, 6, 7. That's about fair. Okay, and our fourth one, oh, that was quick. So there we have like a 10 or an 11, 10 or an 11. And the very last one, dip it in. Oh, it's very dark. Okay, it's even darker, and that is definitely the last one, which is a 12. Okay, I'm gonna move this aside. Okay, and it says record our results in the table attached. So I want you to turn your page over right here. Okay, I'm gonna put both on the same side, same screen. Yeah, kind of, almost. Okay. So first one, HCl, that was our very first column here. Okay, so under red litmus paper, what happened to the red litmus paper? Well, it stayed red. Okay, what happened to the blue litmus paper? Turned red. What happened to the pH paper? Okay, so I'll put it's hot pink. And then in bracket, I'm just going to put what it said that pH would be. Okay, let's go to the next one, acetic acid. Okay, red litmus paper stayed red. Blue litmus paper turned red. okay? And the pH paper for acetic acid, kind of like this peachy coral, okay? This looks like a coral, and that's a 3, okay? We'll do this fourth one here, okay, which is calcium hydroxide. Okay, so red litmus paper turned blue. Okay, blue litmus paper stayed blue. Okay, and the pH paper turned, what is it called? I don't know. It's like a dark green, which is about a 10 or 11. Okay, sodium hydroxide here, so the red litmus paper turned blue. Blue litmus paper turned blue. And the pH paper turned dark blue, which would make that a 12. Okay, and then we'll add, the last line is where we'll put water. We'll just add it at the bottom. Okay, so our red litmus paper stayed red. Our blue litmus paper stayed blue. And our pH paper, it's kind of that limey green, which is about 6, 7, closer to a 7. Okay. So now, given what we know, we can take a look and see, is it an acid, a base, or a neutral? Okay, so if our pH papers all stay red, that tells us we have an acid. Okay, and to verify that, if we look at the pH paper, the pH tells us that the pH is 1, which is also acidic, so this would be an acid. Okay. So when you start using more indicators, they will narrow down, just like the pH paper will give us a more narrow indicator of what the pH is, as opposed to it being from 0 to 6. Okay, acetic acid, red, so that tells us it's an acid if everything turned red. Okay, and had a pH of 3, so this is also an acid. Okay. Calcium hydroxide, okay, red litmus paper turned blue, blue stayed blue, okay, so that tells us it's a base, which is confirmed by the pH paper, which tells us the pH is about a 10, so that would be a base, okay, and sodium hydroxide, red litmus paper turned blue, blue litmus paper turned blue, okay, so that tells us we have a base, and which is confirmed by the pH paper, which was a 12. Okay, and then the distilled water, and I'll say distilled because that's really important, that you should try your tap water and see what you get, okay? Red litmus paper stayed red, blue litmus paper stayed blue, and the pH paper was a lime green, which is about a 7, right? So this tells us it's neutral, okay? So this gives you a good example that you can use to help verify when you do your own. Okay, so here is an indicator. It says if it's an acid, this is what your results should be. And I've also included the purple cabbage in case you try it at home and you give it a shot. Okay, so that was part A. Now part B is all on you. Okay, use a clean bowl or a spoon or a small dish. Okay, it just has to be something. Oh, the spoon is actually a really good idea. Okay, or a small dish. Or something white if you've made a cabbage juice indicator so you can see what color it turns. Put a small amount of liquid into your dish. So 1 tablespoon is more than enough. If it's difficult to pour, use the pipettes. Okay, suck a small amount of liquid out, so extract some liquid from the container and then put it into your spoon. Okay, and wash your pipette out thoroughly so you don't contaminate other liquids if you decide to use it again. Okay. Rip each pH paper, the orange, the red, the blue, in half so you have enough for your 10 samples. Dip 1 red litmus paper, 1 blue litmus paper, and 1 pH paper into the solution. Record your results in the table below, on the next page. Write the color of the papers in each column. For the litmus paper, it'll either be red or blue. The pH paper has more varieties for colors, And if you want, you can make purple cabbage juice. Just do it last so it doesn't contaminate your solution. So if you put purple cabbage juice in, you can't use your litmus papers after, okay? And then determine if the solution was an acid or a base, okay? So here's your table. You're gonna write down what you use: Coke, milk, I'm trying to think of salad dressing. You can try whatever you have, okay? Go into your laundry room and dip them in. And I gave you a column for purple cabbage juice if you decide to do it, and then determine if it's an acid, a base, or neutral, okay? Can you also please include one that is tap water? Okay, as we've done distilled water, let's take a look and compare. Okay, and then when you're done, I'll have a separate, very short assignment for you to tell me about your findings. Off you go. I'm so excited. I wish I was there to see you. Okay, have fun.